Hey Allison, out of all the calls Bill Murray missed for roles, do you think he wishes he missed the call for Garfield the most?
Boy, howdy.
That landed him not one regret, but two big regrets.
Careful, this is a British video. You can't be doing the backwards.
Oh yeah, I did it in the thumbnail. So, I avoided Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties for a long time.
Hell, we're watching that.
You were on borrowed time, Phelan.
I didn't see it back when it came out because, you know, for some reason I was slightly underwhelmed by the first one.
This was our first time, both of us, seeing A Tale of Two Kitties, and boy, was the hype real.
Most catastrophic event of the year, A Tale of Two Kitties.
Anyone needs me, I'll be in my office. My very own cat tub.
Catastrophic.
It's like, there's so many Garfield things that already existed that they could have pulled from to develop into a story. Instead, they do a lazy Prince and the Pauper, and like it's mostly LOL, look, they're in England. This just smacks of desperation. It's like, this is only your second movie. You shouldn't be this desperate.
It feels like a direct-to-video movie, but somehow this made it to theaters. This was 2006,
Yeah.
but it feels more recent to me. The pain still feels real.
That's right. Come on.
You do the Carlisle jig. It goes like this.
The pain's about to be real again.
Yeah, it feels too recent to be doing a let's do a sequel, but this time they go to England, ha ha ha, kind of thing. And yet here we are.
Here we are. It's so sad. Like, I guess some people think Garfield doesn't really have much comedy to it anyway. But
Garfield without Garfield's pretty good.
This is Garfield without any humor.
It's boring.
This is gonna end so badly.
No
dances.
jokes. Yeah, it's dancing.
He dances.
Meow. I'm the king of the cul-de-sac. Somebody take my temperature.
And then there's two Garfields,
Yeah,
so
you
you
got
get
two of them.
double the dancing.
Double the dancing, yeah.
There are two of you little monsters.
Bust a move, man.
Should you tell people what is the plot of Garfield 2, A Tale of Two
I
Kitties?
think I did. It's Prince and the Pauper, but Garfield does it. There's this Tim Curry cat who's called Prince. They really stretch their brains for that. We call this Prince cat, and Prince, who cares? He's like, I'm the real Prince.
Yeah, it seemed like you're doing all those lines like this. That's his Prince voice.
My ass is grass.
Oh my god, he was Dean Lerner.
Yeah.
A little lass has just cracked a nut, and if she croaks, my ass is grass.
I'm his favorite kitty cat.
Liz, why don't you help instead of just standing there dreaming about lipstick?
You got all of the great British character actors wasting their time
Yeah.
in this film.
If he throws us in the river, we'll never survive. Survive!
The barnyard animals congregate entirely too close to the castle. We house pets need our space.
There's still a chance Prince may find his way back here. Eat kitty.
Trousers.
Trousers?
It's gonna be emotional!
You got Tim Curry, you got Bob Hoskins, you got Billy Connolly, who's live action in this one. He didn't do just the voice role. He's like, get me in on this, because he didn't know the previous movie existed, apparently.
Well, that's on the IMDb trivia, and all of that is highly questionable.
Yeah, someone was taking the piss out of this movie with the trivia. Check the Garfield wiki for more accurate trivia. John is going to propose to Liz. But Liz has to go to a conference because now apparently some random vet does speeches in place of Jane Goodall.
Guess who's going to be speaking at this year's fundraiser for the Royal Animal Conservancy? Jane Goodall dropped out at the last minute because she's nursing a sick chimp, and they asked me.
We didn't get Jane Goodall, but look who we got. Some random vet.
Yeah, we don't actually see her speaking. This is all just a means to an end.
This conference
no
is like, they built this conference up. We never see it. Never happens.
No, she has not a clue in her head in this movie. Does barely anything. John is like, I'm gonna follow her to England and I'm gonna propose to her. But meanwhile, there is a prince cat in England in a castle who has inherited this whole estate, and Billy Connolly, who is the nephew or cousin or some relation to the woman who died.
Thank you, Aunt Helena.
I leave all my worldly possessions to my beloved Kitty, Prince the 12th.
She can't have left it all to a cat. But that fat ball of fur can last for another 15 years.
Is very angry about it, so he throws the cat out in a sack. Does not work, but there is a mix-up with Garfield and Prince, and hilarity ensues.
Citation needed. You're like, jokes, where are they?
They don't happen.
Thanks. No pet door, huh? Holy cow. I can hear my footsteps. Mom! Dad! I'm home!
They start to do some jokes that are kind of gimmies. Garfield sees the guards at the Royal Palace and he wants to like make faces at them to make them do something.
No, seriously. Your zipper's down. I know I can get this guy.
Nothing funny happens during the course of this.
No, Garfield does some lame jokes at the guard, like the guard can hear him.
Hey, dry goods. Yeah. Anybody ever say you look like Tina Turner?
And he's like, oh, I didn't break him. Then Odie pees on him and he chases them. Like, ta-da! I hope you loved that joke.
The British are coming! The British are coming! Well, you made him crack anyway. Well, come on, cheer up.
There's some bits that I feel like a joke was cut out, because once John gets there, he is talking to one of the guys at the hotel, and he's like, I'm going to propose, and this is going to be great, and he's giving him tips on how to be all suave.
Could you deliver this to the girl in room 407?
Of course, sir.
And you think this is a setup for a mix-up. She changed rooms last second, and then there's an older lady in there, or someone who's not conventionally attractive, or maybe it's a guy, or, you know, something. But then
Steven
nothing.
Tobolewski.
Be happy.
Finish me off!
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. But nothing happens. She just shows up and she's like, oh, what a nice surprise. And then
it's not even really much of a surprise, because like this is after John follows Liz to London without her knowing, and you think there's going to be some kind of build up to that, like she's going to be surprised, but she just comes in, oh hey John, you followed me to London, did you? You're like, yeah? Alright, well, let's hang out then, I guess.
John?
Hey! Failures!
Film brain, how did you do that? Hotel doors don't work that way.
I don't know.
I mean, did you come all the way here just for me?
Yeah.
yeah, the humans have such thankless roles in this film. Pretty much Billy Connolly is the only one who gets to do much of substance, and even then...
All right. Well played, you. Finish me off!
It's really sad. Like I thought it's really sad. Garfield too, really sad. Liz, you thought she was bad in the first movie, but holy shit, she's so useless in this movie. Why is she there?
Yeah, this is very late into the movie where she meets Billy Connolly and he decides to start flirting with her.
What would you say if I were to donate one of my priceless oil paintings to your conservancy?
Thank you.
But how would you say it?
No thought in her head about this. Is she offended? Is she into it? I don't know. Is there going to be a payoff? No.
It's just like when John's there and he's got rose petals all over the house and clearly saying a romantic mood, and she's like, oh, yeah, you got a real romantic setting here. Well, you know, I'm going to London tomorrow, so we can't do that.
Well, come on, what's the news?
Maybe she too thought that he was going to propose to Garfield.
Will you marry me?
Nah, marriage? There may be some legal issues here.
That's kind of funny.
Used to have John to myself. John.
Garfield says a line about messing up the bathroom in London. You hear like Bill Murray dying as he says it.
Sorry, we left a bit of a mess in the bathroom. Thanks.
Again, I would love to see the recording session with Bill Murray for this film. Even more so than the first film.
Yeah,
the
where
first
he's on
film,
Life Aquatic.
Yeah. This time he had all the time in the world to dedicate not much energy to this performance.
Well, come on, cheer up.
I don't know, he could have half-assed it. I feel like he wasn't half-assing it. It just
No, he had energy in most of it.
Even a king needs a catnap. Get up! Get up! This baby is spring-loaded.
Garfield acts very not Garfield through most of this. There's very few moments where I feel like I'm watching Garfield. This is just some stupid kids movie with some CG cat.
All right. You can just call me Your Highness. Moving on up. And you know what's missing when your crib is a museum? It's called fun.
The cat that dances and then they threw one fart in.
Yeah.
Cat scratch fever. Cat scratch fever. Folks are so loyal to this cat who is royal. Can you do this?
Hey, Boogaloo.
Pretty good. The first thing that actually happens with Garfield is that he comes into the house and he dances.
Somebody take my temperature.
And then he goes, I'm the king of the castle here. And then he does the pose.
Right.
That you see on the cover of every stupid kids movie from that era.
I'm the king of the cul-de-sac.
Whoa, great.
Well, come on, cheer up.
We don't even get his best friend Normal in this one.
No.
Why would he do a thing like that?
We get Normal in this review, though. Ziggy.
Why?
Ship you to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, who doesn't like you, Ziggy?
I'm gonna play with my loudest toys.
Do, do, do. I feel good.
She's not into it.
Cat scratch fever.
It's gonna seem like our cat doesn't like us at all.
I do not like them at all. Yeah. Oh, we got this cat. Here's the movie. Whoa, I'm in London, John.
John.
Wait for the laughter. Do the stupid idiot trot.
You do the Carlisle jig? It goes like this.
Hey, everybody! Come on, let's do the idiot!
What was the dance at the end?
Do you call it the Prince Shuffle?
The Prince Shuffle.
Prince Jig or something? I don't know.
The Carlisle jig.
If this whole movie had started this, I would love it, actually.
This is pretty much it.
It's disgusting thing. Look at its stupid feet. What is
We're just gonna talk about Fat Orange Cat instead.
What? This is the best thing to come out of these movies.
What do they want? Blood? I have been eating and sleeping my heart out for these animals.
I'm not listening.
He's so disgusting.
This reminds me, there's a weird hybrid at the beginning of cartoon Garfield and movie Garfield for some pictures showing stuff that doesn't happen.
Not that much happens in this movie, considering the rather broad premise.
They were just like London, and that will carry it. We don't really need content because we put them somewhere.
Yeah, but you don't really see a lot of London. You don't really see a lot of sets or anything. That's why it reminded me of a TV movie, because so much of it is these barnyard animals talking to each other in the same setting where they have all the barnyard animals, and then some of the scenes in the castle, and then some in a hotel, and then that's about it. There's some things like out front, but...
Garfield leans against Big Ben, pretending he does.
He takes a picture. That was like in the credits, wasn't it? He leans against Big Ben and
I
they
think
take
it
a
happened
picture.
during it too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they end the movie with stills from the movie, which is another thing that reminded me of TV.
Mm-hmm.
This did not deserve to be in theaters.
This did not deserve to exist.
Once the switch up happens, the other barnyard animals that live at this castle, they cotton on to the fact that this is not Prince right away. They think Prince has disappeared or dead.
This isn't even the artist formerly known as Prince. They said it.
Well, obviously that feline is not Prince.
He's not even the cat formerly known as Prince.
So they're like, okay, we got to take care of this cat and pretend that he is royal and lie to him about this so that we're safe, because Billy Connolly, this is very important, wants to build over much of the estate and then kill and eat the animals that live there.
Including like the rats and ferrets, apparently.
Excuse
all of them.
me?
What's the word, Claudius?
The Duchess is going to bulldoze the barnyard and feed us to the tourists.
Can you imagine they like serve ferret to the guests and they're just like, oh yes, oh, like the monocle pops out of their eye, like, wait a minute. Good lord.
I'd eat it.
Shut the fuck up.
Kicking me down.
You stupid monster.
Time to dance.
You think this video is going to end up on Amazon to sell these plushies just like your bootleg zones video?
I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Please kill me. Da-na-na-na-na-na. We love this product.
You know what? This is an unironic endorsement. This is a delightful toy that
you can't legit endorse this.
You know what? It's brought countless hours of enjoyment to us. I can't say that it wasn't.
I guess this has brought more enjoyment than Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties.
Yeah.
This movie got one genuine laugh out of me, which is the very end, where for no reason Garfield is getting crowned the King of England or something, and then Odie jumps up beside him. He's like, "Get out of here!" and he hits him in the face with a turkey leg.
He violently assaults him with a turkey leg, and then that's the last thing that he does in this movie.
Odie, could you beat it, please? It's good to be king.
And that's the most Garfield is. That's like kicking him off the table. That's like a Garfield-ish thing. There's times where John gives him like crappy food, and then the next thing you see, John's getting smacked in the face with it.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like throwing food is different than like hitting them
He's
off of
whacked
something.
them with things too.
Yeah, it just felt like so much more aggressive than anything else that we'd seen in the movie, which is why it was so funny. Because, like, you know, there was part earlier where him and the Prince Garfield are lightly nudging Odie away, and it's like, all in good fun kind of thing. And then the end, he's just like, like the duck. He saved his ass. This whole film, Odie saved his ass.
I mean, that's kind of how Garfield is now. Odie has a thankless job of saving Garfield.
Ungrateful Garfield. How do they make it not funny, though, that he's so ungrateful about it? I thought it was funny because he just, like, assaulted the dog for no reason, but the rest of the movie, it didn't really feel that funny.
There's really no character stuff for Garfield in this Garfield movie. It's like he feels a little bad when at one point he overhears Bob Hoskins' dog talking about, "Hey, it's just a stupid house cat, but we need him." And he's like, "Oh, that makes me feel sad."
Yeah, but like, you know,
like that's his biggest character moment. And then there's like, "Oh well, we need you to help save us anyway now that the real prince is here."
Yeah, you can't feel too sorry for Garfield because all he does is act like an asshole.
What is this, Fear Factor? I'm the king, right?
Prince, actually.
I rule, yes?
Yes, Your Highness.
Great, then feed this to the humans and just bring me a piping hot dish of lasagna.
Oh, I'm royalty and I'm going to order people around or whatever, and then he's sad because they say he's not royalty. Not because he feels bad about how he acted, but because they called him a house cat.
House cat or not, we need him.
House cat.
And it's like, well, who gives a fuck?
House cat.
Who gives a fuck? Because they had a big music number while they made lasagna together? Is that like a bonding moment with them, or what?
Yeah. Stupid Billy Connolly, too. After he thinks he's drowned Prince in the river, and then they find Garfield, Ian Abercrombie, like this is one of his biggest roles, is this movie. He's the butler who loves the cat.
Yeah, doesn't he put a framed photo of the cat in his suitcase when he goes on his vacation?
Yeah, he's the only one looking out for the dead. Was she a duchess or whoever she was?
I don't know.
Lady Carlisle had passed away.
The dead rich woman, her heir cat. He's the only one looking out for this cat. But like, if he sees any dumb cat that looks like this, which I mean, I guess there's probably only 2 in the world that look like this weird cartoon cat, since all the other cats look like normal cats. You'd assume, I guess that's our weirdo CG cat. Don't see a lot of those wandering around.
We saw this in the first one when he's at the shelter and there's a bunch of normal cats and then that, and it's just like, what's the deal here? Because I was thinking, this is a movie that asks you to believe that people are shocked that 2 orange cats would look alike at some point. But I mean, I guess I gotta give it to him. How many of these freaks are out in the wild, you know?
But yeah, like let's say in the movie's universe, he looks more like a normal cat. Yeah. And they just like, oh, another orange cat. That's
2 cats.
That's the prince. Bring him back to the castle.
The most uncommon of cats, an orange cat. A fat one. Oh, it's really hard to find.
Garfield's going insane, having all these giant meals. He's got dishes stacked up to the ceiling. He's running around in armor and stuff. This is seemingly going on for days. And then Billy Connolly walks by a room and sees him in there. He's like, oh, the cat's not dead.
Yeah, I'm just an incorrigible old cat.
What?
How did you miss all this going on, you idiot?
Where has he been this entire time? Surely he wouldn't notice. There was like a giant tower of food. They had a whole montage.
Garfield was not being subtle.
Did they make that specifically because Garfield ordered it, or did Prince already have a cat-sized suit of armor made for him?
Yeah, I don't know. And all this food, too. Ian Abercrombie comes in and faints. Yeah. Didn't you bring him the rest of this food?
Who else was making that for him but Ian Abercrombie? Because apparently they have Ian Abercrombie and then
no
the
one
barnyard
else.
animals to make food.
Yeah, because they make Garfield lasagna at one point. He's like, where's the staff?
Well, how did the cat in the first place tell anyone what he wanted to eat anyway? Did they just give him a bunch of this shit until finally, like, they're like, this is his favorite, this log of pig snout, whatever the fuck. Also, wasn't there a pig, like, grilling at the end? Wasn't there hot dogs on there or something?
I think so.
It's really disturbing things happening in this
really
movie.
funny, too, because, a big part of this plot is all these animals like, oh, he's gonna eat us, we need to stop him from eating the animals. Then they win.
Ones.
Yeah.
One of the trivia things on IMDb said it was a factual error that all these animals are eating lasagna because it has meat in it, and some of them wouldn't eat meat. But did they even put meat in this lasagna?
Yeah, they just call it a 2-cheese lasagna.
Yeah, and how is it a factual error? Like, just because they ate it doesn't mean it's factually
This isn't
incorrect.
a factual error. This is what happens in real life.
Cats don't talk. Factual error. Got ya.
Gotcha. This movie wasn't real. Speaking of not real, John brings Garfield and Odie to a kennel while he's going to London. Okay, first I want to bring up that John says to the kennel woman, feed him lasagna.
Oh, if you could give him a pan of lasagna between each meal, that would be great.
That could have been a joke there. She like deadpanned him like, we're not making lasagna for your cat. Like, oh yeah, I guess.
I feel like if it was made now, they would make fun of that. They'd be like more meta about it.
Like they should have jokes. It's Garfield. It's supposed to be funny. Garfield gets out of the kennel by going, I'm gonna talk about Miranda rights for some reason. I guess that's a great joke.
Anything I say can and will be held against me in a court of law.
Lightly hit on the cage and then it just pops open and Odie's in the same cage with me because that's what they do at kennels, and then they just pop in John's luggage and he manages to accidentally smuggle 2 animals into London.
I don't know if they're aware of this. When you travel on planes, your luggage goes through an X-ray, which you would see animal bones in. Especially in 2006, security in airports would be extra tight. I just don't buy this.
Liz even brings up you're supposed to have your pets quarantined and vaccinated and stuff.
You know, they have quarantine laws here. Don't let Odie out of your sight. They might deport him.
Keep an extra eye on them so nothing happens to them, and he proceeds to walk out of the room like a dummy, so they just wander out, pays no attention to them, gives them no food or water, no litter box, nothing. Garfield's got to drink from a fucking toilet.
Yeah, he jumps in a
Living
bidet.
in squalor. And then leaves the window open. And this happens multiple times. He keeps getting out. And they're talking about how much he loves his cat. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think John loves his cat.
No.
I think this happened in the first movie. It's like, he's the worst owner in the world.
Be good. John, you're delirious.
Nothing about this weird prince cat once he mistakes him for Garfield.
Garfield? What are you doing here?
Garfield? What the devil is a Garfield?
Raises any real flags for John,
Well,
except
he's-
one point where he's like, who's not eating lasagna? But then Prince decides, oh, actually, I love lasagna. Sticks his face in lasagna, and John's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Garfield would never... Garfield would never shove his face in lasagna.
No.
How un-Garfield. Stupid John. He's about as exciting as he was in the first movie. I can say at least they cut John down a bit in the second one, but they filled it with nothing. It's just animals doing nothing.
Legit, this was a worse movie than the first one. Like, they're both not good movies, but we at least kind of got more laughs at the film's expense with the first one.
What will you be having today? Salmon, steak, or lasagna?
Steak. I hate lasagna.
Yeah.
I feel like the villain was funnier in the first one. There were more horrifying implications. It did feel more like a theatrical film also. This felt like obligations.
Okie dokie, new plan.
You were our only hope.
The only hope of the hopeless.
It didn't feel like
Yeah.
anyone wanted to make this movie.
Well, you can see this bad version of Garfield more in the first one, because that's what it is. It's a bad version of Garfield. But this one, it's Prince and the Pauper largely, and then just idiots running around London doing not much. So it doesn't feel like a bad version of anything. It just feels like a bad movie we've seen with other properties that have given up.
Yeah, legit, there were not many funny jokes in this movie. It felt like something you put on to babysit kids.
I guess you might laugh at a fart or something. Garfield should have some sarcasm or something. Like
Listen up. Is this an audience or a landscape?
Garfield's done that. He's gone on the fence and told bad jokes, and then he usually gets things thrown at him. And in this, it's just Garfield comes out, tells bad jokes to the farm animals, and they're like, well, those were bad jokes.
I killed.
I didn't realise it was amateur hour.
What's up with Prince?
You don't even get much of a payoff once Garfield and Prince finally properly meet each other near the
Yeah.
end.
Aha! I so knew you weren't me.
He's just like, yeah, see ya, and then he's about to
Yeah.
leave, and then he realizes he's a complete fucking wuss, and he's
Yeah,
not gonna
because
do anything.
Prince comes back, he's like, oh, he's planning to eat us all. Well, I know what we'll do. Leave.
Yeah.
He intends to level our homes and kill us all.
Well, in that case, I decree we pack our bags and get our scraggy bottoms out of here.
I guess Garfield's one redeeming feature in this movie is his leadership skills. So,
Yeah. We're not gonna leave. We're gonna fuck him up.
yeah, and then they take out some Tommy guns and shoot. Billy Connolly just explodes.
Oopsie daisy.
There's one part of the movie that was kind of funny with Billy Connolly. So he's sleazing it up with Liz, and then he sees Garfield teasing him. That's
Yeah,
how
he's
they,
like,
they lure him. He lures him out. Yeah. He runs out to go catch him, and then changes outfits somehow in between
Yes.
into like a fancier outfit.
Not even remotely the same.
No, like, and it's not like time has passed. It's literally he runs out to get him and then catches him in a sack, and he's somehow changed as he's running after him.
I don't know how they didn't realize that made no sense.
No, and then there's a dog that he trained to kill the cat, but then they trained the dog to go after his trousers, and that's really funny.
Yeah, because the dog is Travis.
Yeah, I did like when the dog ran away and then he said, "Run away!"
Oh, Mr. Stinky Dog. Hey, loco.
Run away!
Credits.
Right after the other animals think Prince is dead, there's this Starscream parrot who's like, "Wow, Prince has fallen! I am your new leader!" And he comes out with a scroll of his new decrees. I'm like, this parrot wrote this scroll of decrees?
I have here a list of new rules of governance.
Preston.
You think this is also setting this parrot up to be kind of treacherous? Never really comes up again.
Yeah, and a parrot is like the one animal that can speak to humans somewhat. He could have teamed up with Billy Connolly.
Yeah, they could have done that, or if they wanted him to do anything on the good side, he could have told Ian Abercrombie something. Instead, they use it for nothing.
This movie feels like it had a bunch of subplots that got cut out. If they weren't cut out, it's just a bunch of things that are set up and then don't go anywhere. But it almost feels like this was a movie cut down from a movie. It's just the scraps in between.
I feel like they should have used this parrot, like you're saying, to have the animals communicate. This should have been the first time Garfield actually directly talks to John. It's like after he's proposed to Liz at the end, and then Garfield tells the parrot something, and John's like, "Oh, Garfield's saying something to me? Like, what'd he say? Oh, it's about the wedding. What? Big fat hairy deal, John."
Liz, I've been trying to get the courage up to ask you something all week.
Excuse me, the cat has something to say.
Big fat hairy deal.
Garfield!
Phelan, you know what I think this movie should have been if I were making a Garfield sequel? Garfield and Odie would be superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And then they would go around terrorizing people.
Yeah, demanding food.
Yeah, they would tell John,
This is a good reference because no one else in the world knows what you're talking about.
"Give us your food." He goes, "No." And they go, "Then die."
This is a comic I wrote as a child. So if there's any bit of context.
You have to scan it and
No.
put it in the video now.
I'm not finding that.
I know where it is.
No.
The greatest comic ever made. They were fools not to contact you and make this movie. They did a superhero one. I'm assuming that's exactly what it was about.
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Then die!
Die, John.
Then die!
I had a good joke in there because they're trick-or-treating, and then Garfield's pail for all his treats was the CN Town.
That's legit genius, though. That's funnier than anything in this movie.
Yeah, when the going gets tough, the great ones party.
I was in tears reading that. This movie, it's like... I guess. Then die.
Yeah, it is so weird because it's so lacking of a plot, lacking of humor. Just things happen and the movie ends. Like that was kind of a large complaint of the first movie too. I remember there's much happening in this movie.
I feel good. I knew that I would now.
This one's just they don't do much in London.
John.
And it feels even more devoid of anything. It's not even like you have Stephen Tobolewsky there kidnapping Odie because everyone forgot that it was John's dog.
Both of them involve kidnapping or unwitting kidnapping, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I wish that Billy Connolly had said that he hates lasagna in a sinister way.
Yeah.
As a callback.
I hate lasagna.
I wish they did more at the fact, it's Tim Curry as Prince.
Yeah, what a waste of Tim Curry.
That character could have been funny. I feel like there could have been some good interactions with him and Garfield. He's like, "You over here, fat boy."
Kiss me, fat boy.
If he just had contempt for how Garfield led his life, and he did not just immediately kind of be like, "All right, lasagna." They didn't really capitalize on the fish out of water with either of them. Both of them seemed to fall into their roles.
Yeah, it's like Garfield, I guess, doesn't care if he ever sees John again, even though, the first movie beats it into your head how much Garfield loves John, and Odie got in the way of him and John.
Used to have John to myself. John.
This is the more accurate Garfield. He's like, eh,
Yeah.
who gives a shit?
John.
I guess in the novelization, John loses Garfield because they find out on the plane home that Garfield and Prince switched again. I guess that's it.
Maybe that's what happened when he goes to another dimension.
Where he's getting crowned.
He's like, I'm gonna stay here, actually. Big fat hairy deal, you fucking idiot. Get out of here, you bastard.
What was the
John
crappy
sucks.
song that happened? You're like, man, I wish there was a Lou Rawls song in this because
Oh, he sings the Jeffersons theme.
Right.
Moving on up to a castle.
Why? Why did that happen?
That's actually maybe the second best thing in this movie, because why? Why did he sing that?
He moved on up, I guess. Got rid of John.
Moving on to the castle, cause I'm Garfield. We're laughing more doing this than we did to the entirety of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie was actually pretty boring. I think that's its biggest sin.
It is, yeah. It's boring.
It's boring.
You're not let down like you were in the first one, where
Yeah.
it's like, this could have been something. You know, Bill Murray as Garfield. There should be something funny here, and there's not. This is like, all right, well, you're underwhelmed by the first one. Get ready to be underwhelmed British style.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 3 out of 10, I think. It's like, below
Pretty
average. I ain't like mad at it per se. It's not like that first one when the dancing was stupid in this, but at least in the first one when he was dancing, you were pretty pissed. And it's like you're sitting there like,
Yeah, you're resigned to it by this point. Yeah, okay, he's dancing because that's all he did in the first one.
I forgot that dancing was such a big fucking feature because you were so angry.
Yeah, he danced so much, and then that's how they ended it, and that's how they end this one too.
Yeah, when they have both of them dancing, I was a little bit like, it was like so not funny. The stupid jig Tim Curry cat does.
You do the Carlisle jig. It goes like this.
This was the era where it was like dancing equals funny, and that's it.
I did like Garfield outlawed Mondays as the ruler of the castle, and the animals, for some reason, were upset by this.
I hate Mondays. Therefore, I decree from this day forward, there will be no more Mondays.
What?
Got it?
Yeah, I think he's lost it.
Yeah, he's gone too far. Do animals outside of Garfield even have a concept of Mondays? I mean,
what
the fuck do they have
care?
to worry about?
She's like, all right.
Especially like
that duck gets paid on Mondays. He's pissed.
Quack, I say. They're all aggressively stereotype British, I would say. Like, they don't sound like real British people, although I know they had British people voicing them.
They had Jane Leaves in there too, and I guess she's good at doing a British accent that a bunch of people don't think is real.
They had Neil Dixon in there, who's also English. They didn't even try to do animal voices. You know how sometimes in these movies they do like, well, I'm a bulldog, so I have this rough voice, and I'm a duck. And here it's just like everyone's like, "Heyo."
We just got to keep him safe till Tuesday.
Lord Dodges better watch out next time Rommel's on the loose. I'm an animal.
Maybe they'd pitch it up a little bit for someone. I'm a ferret, you know, like.
Yeah. The ferret did say, "I'm a ferret."
He said, "I'm a ferret."
Boy, I'm a ferret, and I mean business. Trouser leg business.
I could write this dialogue.
I'm a ferret, and I like to get up trousers. We like to say trousers a lot.
Trousers! It's gonna be emotional!
Trousers, because pants means something else.
I love milk. Milk.
Completely pants.
This movie was pants.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Garfield?
Yeah. So anyway, I guess they killed Billy Connolly and ate him at the end. Maybe he was the hot dogs.
They all at a party. He's roasting on a spit as they turn it. And then, I feel good. I knew that I would.
I feel good. I knew that I would now.
So good. Please kill me.
If you just said the end on his ass.
So it'll happen, then they'll see this after the credits, us explaining the thing.
Yeah. Just so we know that was on the fly.